Prism Stone Stage Transform. So, yeah, I just had to do that. But this is a Pretty Rhythm Rainbow Live episode 6 review. So, now, this episode was, how should I say this? It wasn't targeted mainly towards Ito, like episode 5 was mainly targeted towards Naru when she did her dance. Mainly in episode 6, it was more of an all-around thing because we saw most of the characters that were already introduced in the series, and we got a little light into Sato's true form, and we also meet Hiro. So here we go. The episode starts off with basically An, Ito, and Naru, and they're inside of the Prism Stone store. And for some reason, An looks into I believe it's a fridge, not sure, but a case, and basically what happens is the cake's been eaten. So of course she points the fingers at the pair friends right away, and specifically Papun, and basically says, "Oh yeah, this little guy did it." But then Ito looks over and says, "Oh, couldn't have been her, couldn't have been Rine." But then Rine clings to Naru, and Naru's like, "Oh yeah, she wouldn't do something like that." So they're wondering who it is. Then what happens is, An makes a great decision in saying that, okay, I'm gonna put my smart shot in there with the Papu and then record it during the night. So what happens is night comes, and then Papu records it, and what happens the next day is they all come in and An plays it back. At first they see Rine, so they automatically think it's they think it's Rine, but then they see this pink creature come across the screen. An goes back and pushes it back a little bit, and they're thinking that it's like a kappa. It's like I think it's a turtle monster in Japanese. I've seen things about it. It's like has a ring on its head, and it's like has the turtle's back and such, has a weird face. So they think it's automatically something like that. But what happens is then when the owner comes in to come tell them something, An shows it to her, and for some reason Sato's face is drained, like very blue and drained, like, oh gosh. So what happens is then Sato tells them to go outside, and before Sato has a chance to delete the video, what happens is An takes it back. So what happens when they go outside is they see a truck that has Prism Stone on the side. Sato said the reason for that is because they're going to go on a tour of, like, I don't know if it's Japan or something, but they're going to go on a tour, and they're basically going to perform in different places. So what happens is they go in the truck, and they start driving towards their destination, which is Kakyoin Academy, which An states is an all-boys school. Why would they be going there? Then what happens is once they get there, An realizes, oh yeah, there's going to be girls at the festival, so we can get them into Prism Stone. Then then they get out of the truck, they set up the store, girls come flocking over. Rine looks to be doing nothing, sitting on a chair, but Naru gives her a cup of warm milk and tells her, we're going to be done here soon. Rine then drinks the cup, but then what happens is she walks away. Naru doesn't notice this until two girls ask her to go look for the same color bracelet, like same color bracelets. So Naru looks back, doesn't see Rine there, and then goes to look for Rine. Now there's only An and Ito there. So what happens is An sees a sign for the Mystery Research Society. Of course, she's all into mysteries, so she runs towards that sign. Ito's the only one left there, but Kurun runs away somewhere, so Ito has to follow after. Now what happens is we see Ito, and she's basically running after Kurun. What happens is we see her look over. When we see her look over, we see girls yelling, just screaming for someone. Then we see someone come out of the gate. It happens to be the boy that we saw before in a flashback with Koji, and he seems to be very, very popular. Now, with Naru running around trying to look for Rine, she thinks it's behind that wall of girls and tries to jump over and look at it, but she can't. And then she asks, "Oh yeah, what's going on here?" One of the girls says, "Oh yeah, you don't know? That's Hayami Hiro." Okay, sorry about that. It was Hayami Hiro. I don't know why I spaced out for so long about that. But yes, it's Hayami Hiro, and basically I guess he's a up and coming Prism star, and that he has his debut song coming out, which if you remember before, that the debut song was actually Koji's, but Hiro stole it and saying it's his. So basically what happens is Naru then crawls under everyone and tries to get through to see if Rine's on the other side. Gets through, but then falls over. And then Hiro asks, "Oh yeah, you alright?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And then Koji tries to introduce himself as like the cool guy, but Naru runs over to Koji because she knows Koji. And basically what happens is then Naru starts chatting away, saying, "Oh yeah, thanks to your song I was able to perform a prism jump." Well, Hiro looks not too kindly about it and says, "Oh yeah, Hiro song," and then walks over to Naru and tries to not swoon her or anything, but grabs her chin and tries to talk to her like, "Oh yeah, you're an interesting one." So and then he talks to what is it? He talks to Koji and says, "Oh yeah, what brings you here? Like, did you really make a song for this girl?" But then he doesn't go on with it any further and says, "Oh yeah, I'll see you later, Naru-chan," and pats her on the head. So I don't know. I don't like Hiro for some reason or another. I mean, he is a cool guy and all, but I mean, don't try and ruin someone else's, like, not fun, but don't try and ruin someone else's stuff just because you're jealous. Well, maybe jealous, but it seems like jealousy is flowing from him. But besides all that, I forgot a little thing before that. When On goes to the Mystery Research Society, we see Tanaka again. This time with Tanaka, we see Tanaka shows on a screen. This time it's a green creature flying across the screen. Now what happens is On then shows it to Tanaka, and he's like, "Oh yeah, it must be related to the green creature." And On says, "Oh yeah, let's find the truth about it," but they don't delve into it anymore in the episode. Now what happens is then we see Koji and Naru talking alone, like, "Oh yeah," about the song and such. And then what happens is Ito walks over. Now Ito is basically just walking over there, but she notices Koji, but then Naru's like, "Oh yeah, Ito-chan, just walk over here." And basically Naru introduces Ito to Koji. Now what happens is Naru also says, "Oh yeah, he's the one that created the song." Naru is then sorry because Koji says, "Oh yeah, Naru." And then she's like, "Oh yeah, it was a secret, wasn't it?" But then Ito says, "Oh yeah, like, that's great for you. But Koji's song is teppin, which means lukewarm, which is a different meaning for lukewarm." So basically, she doesn't really like it too much. She doesn't like anything lukewarm. She likes everything hot or intense, as they call it. So basically, she was being a bit rude. But Koji then comes back and says, "Oh yeah, well, you feel that way, but that song wasn't written for you. So yeah, you gotta take that into consideration." Then what happens is On and Sato is wondering about where everyone is, and then I think On and Sato find Naru and everyone else, and basically what happens, they meet up at the Prism Stone truck, and then Ku says, "Oh yeah, let's Prism show," like he's talking about a Prism show, and let's Prism show. Now Sato's like, "Oh yeah, who's going to perform?" Naru says she volunteers and says she wants Koji to see her dance in action, like the song and dance in action, because he didn't get to see it before. Ito gets a little bit irritated about this and then says she's going to do it. Now, as for the stage, like, what happens before that is the announcer on the loudspeaker says, "Oh yeah, let's do a what is it? There's going to be a Prism show presented by Prism Stone at 3 o'clock." And basically, what happens is, after like Sato says, "Oh yeah, who's gonna do it?" I know I'm repeating myself. Ito says she will, and then the Prism Stone truck transforms into a Prism stage. Like the back of the truck transforms to a Prism stage. It's actually pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. I like that little thing that they do with the truck. I mean, it's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. They didn't have it in the series. I didn't think they were gonna have it in the series, but hey, it's welcome for anything. So then Ito gets ready to perform her dance. She has a new character song. I believe it's BT 37.5 or 375. I don't know. It's a weird name, really weird name. But I like the song. The song was pretty cool. It was very different from anything I've heard in Pretty Rhythm. It was more hard. It was more, I wouldn't say hardcore, but more not poppy or anything, like more darker than any of the songs that we've heard before. But it was pretty good. I liked the dance, of course, but she didn't have any new jumps. She had Cool Splash. She had Jewel Spin Cross, but it was pretty interesting. So after the dance, we see Ito look at Koji. Koji's like, "Oh yeah, your song was very intense." But then, what is it? Ito still says it's lukewarm. Like, Koji's is still lukewarm. So after that, we see Rene come back, which early in the episode, I guess she was in the pageant. So she won the pageant automatically. Not automatically, but she won the pageant because I guess she was so dazzling and beautiful. And basically, that was the end of the episode. So I like this episode. It was very good. It was, like I said, it wasn't focused on Ito too much, but I like how they introduced Hiro. I like how they threw all the characters in, but not too much where it was focused on one person. It was more of a good episode where it focused on other characters. It showed some characters that weren't in there before. The only ones they didn't show were the people from Edo Rose. I'm not disappointed about that. And I'm sure we'll see them more often in the other episodes because they seem to be main characters. But again, this has been a review of Pretty Rhythm Rainbow Live Episode 6. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys later.